In this first phase of you becoming wealthy, what you're doing right now is really doing all the foundational work. In this phase of wealth, if you are in phase 1 of your wealth building process, you can't afford a subscription to Netflix. And now, anytime I say this, everybody says, Jaspreet, what are you talking about? Netflix is only $15 a month. That's not going to affect me saving $2,000. That's not going to affect my credit card debt. But what you're missing is your Netflix subscription is costing you way more than the $15 a month, because your Netflix subscription is costing you 2 hours of your time every single day. And if you have credit card debt, if you don't have $2,000 saved up, if you don't understand how money works, if you don't have any sort of wealth mindset, well, now what you need to be doing is taking that time that you're spending on Netflix and using that time to learn about money, to read books about money, to learn how you can increase your income, to learn about saving, to learn about financial education. You need to be investing every extra bit of time and money into yourself, because until you've laid this foundation, you're in what I like to call that financial danger zone. And with this financial danger zone, any small little hiccup, any small little life event can completely throw you over the edge. It could put you deeper into credit card debt. It could put you deeper into a financial hole. And this is where right now you have to get extremely focused to understand these 4 things. Now you might be wondering, what does it mean to build a wealthy mindset? What does it mean to understand the rules of money? Well, starting with this wealthy mindset, what this means is, number 1, you believe that you can become wealthy. Number 2, it means you understand that money is abundant. And number 3, you understand that money is a tool. And what I mean by this is, if you don't believe that you can become wealthy yourself, you're never going to actually go out and achieve that wealth for yourself, because you can go out and learn everything about money. You can read every book about money, but until you believe it's possible for you, it's never going to be possible for you. So you have to actually work on believing that you can become wealthy. And this requires you not to go out and read books on personal development, self-development, listening to podcasts on this, and really working on your self-development and your perception of yourself and you becoming wealthy. Then you have to believe that money is abundant. And what I mean by that is, there's a lot of people out there, and this is kind of a very common thing in the early stages of you becoming wealthy, is believing that there's a scarcity of money. That if you get money, I can't get rich. If I pay you money, I can't get rich because I'm giving you my money. But what you have to start understanding is that there's a lot of money in the world. I can pay you $100 and get $500 worth of value back. If I pay you $20 for a book and then I learn how to make $5,000 out of that book, well, I paid you $20, but I made $5,000. And it's this whole idea of, oh, you can become wealthy and I can become wealthy. It changes this whole kind of jealousy, hating, negative mindset into a understanding and growth mindset. And you have to have this growth mindset if you want to be able to attract more money to yourself. And the third thing that you have to understand is that money is just a tool. See, it's very common to get into this mindset of money is bad, people who have money are evil, rich people are bad, money is this negative, horrible thing. But at the end of the day, money doesn't change who you are. Money is just paper. It costs money to eat and it costs money to feed other people. And if you want to be able to pay your bills, if you want to be able to live in a nice home, if you want to be able to take your family on the nice vacations, it costs money to do that. It's not going to make you bad to have an extra $100,000 in your bank account. It's not going to make you evil to have an extra $1 million in your stock brokerage account. But that can provide you a lot more stress-freeness in your financial life. Now sure, if you're struggling with your happiness, more money might not fix that. If you're struggling with depression or anxiety, more money might not fix that. Your money is going to fix the financial problems in your life, but they give you more time and freedom to work on the mental health parts of your life, or the physical parts of your life, onto the spiritual parts of your life, because if you're constantly stressed about money, well, that can ruin every other aspect of your life as well. So if you want to build this wealthy mindset, you have to understand that number 1, you can become wealthy. Number 2, that there's a lot of money out there. And number 3, money is just a tool. And number 2 is understanding the rules of money, because the reality is, in today's economic system, the system we live in, especially in the United States, is a system that is designed to benefit the financially educated. Now, a lot of people like to think that our system is designed to benefit the rich and the wealthy, which it is. But it's not just designed to benefit people with money. It's designed to benefit people who understand money. And what I mean by that is, our system runs on spending. See, we live in what's called a capitalist system. And a capitalist system means that somebody spends money and somebody else makes money. Now, the thing about this that you have to understand is, every single person is a consumer. Rich people are consumers, middle class people are consumers, poor people are consumers. Everybody's a consumer. However, when people consume, which remember, everybody consumes, certain people benefit. Right? When you go to Chipotle and you buy that Chipotle bowl and you get that extra guac, somebody's benefiting. Now, the person that's benefiting is the owner of Chipotle. Now, you might be wondering, well, who's the owner of Chipotle? Well, of course, the owner of Chipotle are the people that started Chipotle, right? The entrepreneurs that started Chipotle, but it's not just them. It's also the investors in Chipotle. Anybody can be an investor in Chipotle. Now, I'm not telling you what to invest in. I'll give you an example here. But if you go out and you invested your money into the Chipotle stock on the stock market, you would be one of the owners of Chipotle. Now, what does that mean? If somebody goes to Chipotle and they spend their money at Chipotle, you're benefiting because now Chipotle is making more money. If people are going out and they're buying that extra guac at Chipotle, you're benefiting as the investor. And if somebody is going into debt to buy that Chipotle bowl, well, that's benefiting you as the investor. Now, I don't want you to go into debt to go out buy the Chipotle. I don't want you to go out and buy that extra guac unless you can afford it. See, this is that financial education on the consumer side. But I want you to also understand on the investor side, our economic system runs on spending. And if you own a piece of that system, by being an investor, you benefit when people spend money. And guess what? People in America love spending money. And that's the way the economic system works. If you want to win in this economic system, you got to understand, everybody's a consumer. Rich people, middle class people, poor people. But some people that are financially educated will benefit when people spend. And the way they benefit is by owning some of these assets. You can own stocks. You can own things like rental properties, rental real estate. You can build a business. You can invest in startups. There's a lot of ways you can go about doing that. But then it gets a little bit more advanced and technical when you take a look at how our economic system is actually built. Because our economic system is designed to build inflation. Now, you might be wondering, well, what the heck does that even mean? Well, if you look at the Federal Reserve Bank website, they say that they aim for a target of 2% inflation. I'm not going to talk about where inflation is today, although we know that inflation is higher than this target number. But what that means is that it costs you more money to buy that Chipotle year after year after year. And the reason why is because, well, Chipotle, the company, has to pay more money to get the rice, to get the beans, to get the vegetables, to get the meat, to get everything. It costs more money. They also have to pay their employees more money. They have to pay more money for their rent. So because their costs are higher, they pass this down to the consumer. So if our economic system is designed to create inflation, that means the consumers, people, rich people, middle class people, poor people have to pay more money. If everybody, consumers have to pay more money, who's benefiting? Well, again, the investors are the ones that's benefiting because now people have to pay more money for the Chipotle bowl. You have to pay more money for the extra guac. So that benefits the investors. So now when you have inflation happen, that hurts consumers. Inflation is bad for consumers because that means you have to pay more money. Who's the consumer? Rich people, middle class people, poor people. Inflation is bad on the consumption side. But inflation benefits those who are financially educated, who are the investors, because now investors get more money in terms of higher revenue dollars, higher profit dollars, because now Chipotle has to charge more money. So who does that benefit? Well, it benefits those who are financially educated. And this is why it is so important for you to understand the rules of money, because our economic system is designed to benefit the financially educated. And I'm just scratching the surface here, because now if you get to looking into the tax laws, well, what you see is that our tax code is designed to benefit the financially educated. How do I know that? Well, I'm a licensed attorney, who's not your attorney, who spent a lot of time studying the tax code. In fact, let me show you something. This is a handy dandy copy of the federal income tax book that I had to purchase when I was in law school. And what you'll see is that this tax book is 2,000 pages long of very small font explaining all the little ins and outs of the tax code. Now, you might think, well, what the heck do you need 2,000 pages of to explain for the tax code? Because aren't taxes just you make money and you pay taxes on that money based off of how much your income is? No. All these pages are showing you the ins and outs of the rule book, because the tax code is a rule book. Now, who does this rule book benefit? It benefits the people who understand the rule book and who can actually use the rule book. And who are those people? Well, those are the investors, and those are the business owners, because now when you are an investor, you qualify for potentially lower tax rates and higher tax deductions than people who just earn their money from their job as a W-2 employee. Now, you can hate it, you can love it. All I'm telling you is how our economic system works. And now, either you can be angry about it, or you can learn it and learn how to win in this system, but that requires you to learn the rules of money. Now, when you understand that you can become wealthy, you understand this wealthy mindset, and you start learning about the rules of money, that's when you get into the practical side of this phase one, which is you got to save your first $2,000 and get out of credit card debt. And you have to get serious about about doing this ASAP, because until you achieve phase one, you can never start building upwards. Everything here is just laying the foundation. Everything here is just laying that kind of base stuff, so you can get started on the actual climb to wealth, on the higher parts of building wealth. Right now we're trying to get to zero, which is why you got to get aggressive here. That's why I say, if you don't have $2,000 saved up, if you have credit card debt, you can't afford Netflix. You can't afford to have those luxuries yet. And yeah, these are tough financial sacrifices, but you got to get serious. Because right now, you are making everybody else rich. When you have credit card debt, you're making the credit card company rich. You're making your banker rich, and you're making all those companies rich where you're spending all of your money. I want you to make yourself rich. And that means you're going to have to make some sacrifices that we no longer have to make the credit card company richer. That we no longer have to make this other companies richer, which means you got to keep that money in your pocket. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.